This is a gentle spa yoga practice that will be a soothing balm for any pent up stress or anxiety. Welcome, I'm Carolyn, and I hope this practice provides you with all the grounding that you need. Make sure that you have some kind of a bolster or a pillow available for our class and sit on it, cross-legged, with your hands on your knees. Start to inhale, leaning the chest forward. Exhale, rounding your spine as you lean back. Again, inhale, open your chest, tipping your chin up. Exhale and round. And do that a few more times. Sweetly opening up your spine and connecting to deeper breaths. Simply arcing and rounding. And arriving into this moment and all that this moment brings with it. Breathe into it. Breathe it all out. Ceasing that movement. Switch the cross of your legs so that your other ankle is in front. And now bring your arms up into a cactus shape with palms facing forward and arms bent at 90. Visit those same movements, inhaling, lifting the chest. And as you exhale round, draw your forearms together if you can. Opening again as you inhale, elbows back. Exhale and round, draw elbows towards navel. Again, opening wide across the chest and the elbows. And rounding as you breathe out. Just let the movements be somewhat subtle and somewhat easeful as we just take our time arriving into this moment in this class and arriving into this body. And relaxing your hands back onto your knees. Make your way onto all fours and keep that bolster or that pillow handy because we'll take a supportive child's pose, resting over the bolster. Slide it right up between your inner thighs and rest your belly and your chest onto the support, looking to one side. Now, if your bolster or your pillow isn't feeling quite propped up enough, if you can't really rest onto it comfortably, then put something underneath the bolster to make it a bit higher and more supportive. Elbows, forearms on the mat. And deepening the breath. If at any point it serves you to exhale out your mouth because something's feeling really locked within, then just go ahead and take a soothing breath out. And slowly, gently turn your head to the other side. Let the prop really receive the full weight of your body. Where can you let go? This practice is all about feeling held and soothed by the grounding energy of the earth. And you might find a little more release downwards into the earth with every breath out. Take time rising up onto your stomach, all the way onto your stomach with your toes pointed back and your arms bent out at your sides in that cactus shape. So forearms are down, palms are down. One ear on the mat looking to one side for a passive neck stretch. And sense your breath being received into a softer belly. Turning your head to the other direction, releasing the neck muscles here. While unclenching your jaw, softening hardness around your shoulders. And really letting go into the support beneath you. Sphinx pose, lift your head and slide your forearms closer together so that you can be up on your elbows, and your elbows are aligned under your shoulders, keeping your chin parallel to the floor. Feel a slight lift of your chest and full inhalations and long, calming exhalations. Feeling and breathing. Lower your forehead down onto stacked hands and bend your legs. Gently sway your shin side to side to sweetly release your low back. Relax your abdominal muscles, your thigh muscles. Make your way up onto your hands and your knees. Once you're on all fours, take some cat-cows, inhaling to arc and exhaling to round. We're revisiting many movements in different planes throughout this class. So we did this seated. Now we're in tabletop, arcing the spine and rounding the spine, moving with your own perfect breath. Next time you're rounded, hold it and walk both hands over to the left, stacking your right hand on top of your left hand. Yeah, find that rounded cat spine, tuck your chin in, tuck your tailbone, really stretching out the right side. Crawl both hands over to the right, left palm on top of right palm, tucking your tailbone so your back ribs are fluffing up to the ceiling, looking towards your knees. Send big breaths into the left lung. Gently crawl both hands back onto your mat for a downward facing dog. Knees off the mat, push into both palms. Enjoy a few breaths hanging your head fully and heavily down. And simply place your right foot between your hands, lowering your left knee down behind you. Come all the way up into low lunge with both arms reaching up. Just find your position here, your front foot flat, and bend your arms into that cactus shape. Here we are again. Inhaling your arms back up and bend your arms wide at your sides as you exhale. The palms face forward the whole while. Inhale, slowly stretch up, and a long exhale to bend your elbows just to shoulder height. Inhaling up. And as you bend again, lean your forearms further back behind your head. It's so sweet for your shoulders again, to broaden the chest and everything that really gets stuck across the heart. And then hold there and round now. So forearms come to touch almost in front of you and round down, and just hold this slight rounding. You're just rounding maybe a third of the way with chin into your chest. Little sway side to side might be interesting. Really stamping your front foot as you round and open the back of your chest, lung tissue in the back ribs. Release your hands down and just the right arm will stretch forward. We'll do little half circles. So reach the right arm up and back, reach to your back ankle, and then flip it. Take your arm up and forward and stretch down a little bit. And then do that again. Inhale, the arm goes forward, up, reach way back. Even look back at your hand if it's okay for your neck. And go up and forward and down somewhat. Top arm super straight. Just a couple more of these big rainbow arcs. And send breath into any sticky, tight spots. Right, fill the tight spots with more breath. Lower your hand down and step your back foot forward, folding at the front of your mat, your feet right underneath you, head hanging down. Nice bend in both your knees. Breath flowing fully. Breath helping to soothe anything that's feeling really prominent for you. Breath soothing anything that you'd like to shift. Breathe and know that you're creating a change. Keeping this forward fold, eagle wrap your right arm under your left arm. And without straining your neck muscles, just gently draw your elbows a touch lower towards your feet or towards the floor than your hands. Hug your abdomen in and send more breath into the back body, the back of the spine. Untangle your hands and take a big step back with your right foot. Stay low with back leg somewhat straight, chest stretching forward away from your pelvis. And feel all that's here to be felt in your hips. Lower your back knee and step back into a heart pose so that your forearms are down. Walk your knees back a little, hips over top of your knees. Sink your forehead down onto the mat. Really lengthening through the sides of your waist. A sensation of sinking your chest down, but keep your low abdomen hugging in and up. And if you want to try a little bit more, perhaps prayer your hands and bend your arms so your prayer fingers point up to the ceiling. And think back with your inner thighs. Think back through the pelvis. Heavy in your elbows. Gently breathing yourself all the way down onto your stomach. So here we are once again, releasing down into the earth with arms cactus at your sides, one ear on the mat. Be sure your thigh muscles are soft. Breathe your belly down into the mat. It's okay to let go. And take time turning your head carefully to the other direction. And practicing again this surrender. Feel the way the floor rises up to hold your body. Lift your head up into Sphinx pose. So repeating again with your elbows underneath your shoulders. Be sure your hands are as wide as your elbows. And without moving, without any movement, elbows try to pull back to your hips, widening the chest forward through the windows of your shoulders. Right, feeling the inhale flow all the way up to your chest. Something just softens 10% more as you exhale. There's no rush at all to lower your forehead down. And with bent legs, sway your feet side to side. Make it feel healing for your low back, caring for your whole body, these mindful movements. Up onto your hands and your knees for cat-cows, arcing and rounding your spine. You might find that the movements are a little more deliberate or a little more exaggerated now that you're repeating a lot of these spinal undulations. You could perhaps go slightly deeper. Crawl both hands over to the left and try walking your right hand further away from you to the left this time. As you tuck your tailbone, just rock your hips back another inch towards your heels, rounding your back. Gently walk your hands over to the right as your left hand. You just crawl it a little further away, increasing the side stretch. Round in, chin into chest, full breaths. Hands walk to center, downward facing dog. You'll see that your feet are hip width apart. Your kneecaps are pointed straight forward. However you can, left foot steps forward and back knee lowers down. Come all the way up into low lunge. Extend your arms straight up. Keep the depth in the front knee as you also bend your arms out to the sides, cactus. Next inhale to stretch them up, and a long exhale to bend. Inhaling up, and elbows bend with front ribs pulling in. Couple more. Notice if your neck muscles are strained or overworking. Next time you cactus your arms, start to draw them in front of you so that palms and maybe elbows touch, round about a third of the way, anchoring your front foot strongly, round it in. And as you look down, you might find that you could sway your upper body carefully side to side, like your forearms are swimming left to right. Releasing your hands down onto the mat, but your left arm, stretch it forward. Keep it super straight as you circle it up and back. You could turn your head to look back at the hand and then go up and forward, and slightest rounding. Reach your hand off the front of the mat downwards. Go up and back again. And just flip it. So you're going up, forward, and a little down. How's that breath? Taking it deeper. So good. Waking up all these breathing muscles. Next time your hand comes down, leave it there and bring your back foot up beside your front foot. Fold at the front of your mat. Your feet grounded, both knees bent. Notice any tension in the neck, any tension in your jaw. Usually when we notice, we give it a chance to shift. Give it a chance to release. Eagle, wrap your arms, left elbow under this time. Keep your skull really heavy. And be sure to keep more weight forward in the balls of your feet. Every exhalation is an opportunity to release something. Release and bring yourself into a state of calm, of greater peace as you breathe out. Lower your fingertips and left foot goes all the way back. Stay propped up on your 10 finger tops and propel your chest forward away from your hips, away from your back foot. And just notice what's happening in your hips and the length of your spine. Such a nice front body opening class, opening the thigh of the back leg, keeping it really simple. Lowering that back knee now and take your right knee down beside your left knee. And just a little different here. I'll get you to try the prop, the bolster under your forearms at the front of your mat for heart pose. So we're revisiting, but this time the bolster gives you a greater depth into the pose. Make sure your hips are high. An option to prayer your hands and bend your arms so you're in maybe a deeper lat stretch with prayer pointed up. Hips pulling back away from the bolster. A lot of breath into the side ribs. Feel the inhale really widening into the back as well. Right, so we're not just doing belly breathing. All around into the back. Gently come up from that and lower yourself onto your stomach. Move your bolster a little to the right so that your left forearm can be on the floor at the left side of the bolster and left ear on the bolster. This is a pec release. So you'll see my left palm is flat down behind me, left arm is bent behind me. Roll on the left side, stack your right leg on top and bend both your knees. You could stay there with knees bent on the ground in front of you, or your top right leg could straighten. And maybe sway your top right leg back a little bit in space. So you're getting a deeper opening into the whole front of your right thigh and left shoulder. It's a good one. Be mindful of slower breaths. And then gently switch sides. So move the bolster over to the left more, bend your right arm behind you on the floor, left leg stacked on top with both knees bent on the ground in front of you. Or stretch your top left leg straight back. Full breaths. Just thinking about releasing areas that don't need to be locked or gripped with tension. Now one more Sphinx pose, this time with the bolster underneath your low ribs so that your forearms are on the mat in front of the bolster, toes are pointed. And just be sure that you don't have your hips on the bolster. You have your pubic bone pretty much on the floor behind you, thighs on the floor behind you, elbows on the floor. And if you want a little more support, which this class is all about, you can bring your elbows closer together, walk them forward, prayer hands. Place between your eyebrows can rest into your thumbs. And for more thigh opening, option to bend your legs, feet up in the air. And now it might not feel like the deepest stretch, but just trust that shifts are happening within. Okay, a couple more big breaths. Most of the nerves in the nervous system are housed in the spine. And really, there's a lot of benefit happening in all these nerves along your spine when you're in this kind of extension, easeful extension. For the last breath or two, you might walk your hands wider and a bit further forward and lift your elbows, lift your chest up, deepen your breath. So nice. And sweetly lower down, hands stacked under forehead. Be sure your belly flesh is on top of the bolster here. If the bolster's too much, just move it out of the way and just be on the mat on your stomach, or bolsters right under your belly flesh. Breath isn't quite as deep now. Really softening around the bolster. Feeling held, reminding yourself it's all okay to let go around the bolster. Come to lie down on your back. Keep the prop handy beside you, but lay flat on your back. Legs bent, your feet on the mat, palms on your low abdomen. Just have a sense of checking in with your belly. Feel the warmth of your hands on your belly, noticing what's here, noticing the information and the wisdom in your belly. Another big breath into the belly. Grab your bolster and lift your legs up into the air and slide the bolster the narrow way between your inner shins. Keeping your feet and your legs up in the air and the bolster between your lower legs. Twist your knees all the way over to the right. They'll land. They will. Knees all the way to the right. Reach your left arm out to the left. Just guide your knees up a bit closer to your right armpit. This one is so therapeutic for the lower back. And let your breath fill into all the spaces. The breath slowly empties out. And another breath fills right up to the chest. And a long exhale, feeling the twist, feeling the abdomen in. And can you press more of your left shoulder blade down into the mat? And feeling supported still by the earth below you. Recruit your core muscles somewhat to help lift your legs back up. Keeping knees into chest, keep the prop. Bring your legs all the way over to the left. Reaching right arm open to the right. Broad across your chest. I always like left hand on top of the outer right knee. I push down with the hand onto the outer knee. And I try to pull the thigh bone towards the knee even more. And with every exhalation, have a sense of turning your chest to the right even more. Can you breathe in a way and even think in a way that is soothing? Release the bolster or the prop to the side. Take care to untwist. Feet flat on the mat again in the middle. Palms on your belly again. Noticing. Supported bridge. I love it on the bolster just for that softness. Lift your hips up and slide your bolster under your low back. Make sure your feet are about mat's distance apart so the knees can just softly knock in. And with hands on belly, sense the breath into the belly, feeling how the hands rise and fall as you breathe into the belly. If you'd like a little bit more, option to straighten your right leg on the floor, walking your right heel away from you and right heel over to the left on the floor. Option for right arm to stretch back. A little more front body opening, just sneaking in some more. We get really contracted in the front when there's stress, right in the belly, and we protect across the heart, across the shoulders. So providing some good medicine for the way the body gets locked across the front. You could switch sides with your legs if you haven't already. Soothing breaths low into your lower lung. And return your feet onto the mat. And bring one knee into your chest on the bolster still, other knee into your chest, legs straight up, but not legs completely straight. A deep bend in the knees is great, so your thighs aren't gripping, so hip flexors don't grip. Allow your knees to fall a couple inches towards your chest. Grounded in your low back. This is like medicine for the low back. And let your breath be a reflection of that as well, that healing. You could keep your legs up like that. I like to bring knees into chest after a few breaths. Really squeeze thighs in tighter. So it's like a child's pose, but on your back with your hips propped up under the bolster. With each exhale, give yourself a tighter squeeze, hugging yourself. Maybe with a silent thank you. Thank you, body. Whenever you feel ready to a brief rest, I recommend sliding the bolster down under your thighs or under your knees, perhaps hands on belly. Really letting go. Really thanking your body. Thanking your ability to return to regulation and to calm. It takes time, and it needs to be done time and time again. Practicing this return to calm. But it's possible to let go. It's possible to be held and supported. I'm going to leave you here. I hope you have a wonderful rest, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.